obviously the Chargers ended up losing 20-10. You called it a snooze fest. I actually thought it was kind of a war of defenses, a lot of back and forth between both of them. I
Yeah.
thought Brandon Staley made some decisions. Obviously, he benched Michael Davis. He obviously went with Dean Leonard, who I thought, I mean, obviously he struggled, especially with OBJ and some other guys. But I actually thought tackling wise, I mean, he was more of a sure tackler. But yeah, it's just the secondary as a whole is just not it. I thought there were some good plays by the defense. I thought limiting a Baltimore team that it's, I mean, basically like, and well, no, I'm not going to take anything away from it, but limiting that Ravens team to only 20 points and that touchdown came late. I mean, it was very interesting to see, but I mean, just a little bit too little, too late. Obviously, the one theme, and this is what I wrote about this week, Gilbert. Let me put this full down. The one thing I wrote about is that defenses know that the Chargers' offensive line has regressed, and that's just plain and simple. Why do I say that? Miami, the Tennessee Titans, the Packers, teams are blitzing at the end of games when they know the pressure is on because they know that not everybody can be stopped. Same thing happened last night on that fourth down,
Yeah.
and Herbert had to throw it into the ground, and that was basically all she wrote. So obviously the three fumbles didn't help. And one of those, you had a 19 play drive and it stalled because of I mean Jadeveon Clowney just put the moves on Trey Pipkins and hit Herbert. Herbert had to go to the blue 10 and everything, but it's just one of those things where turnovers hurt them. I mean, on two drives where you were kind of getting going a little bit, fumbles. Austin Eckler fumbled for the second week in a row. He doesn't look the same either. So it's kind of a little bit of everything. But now they're 4-7, Gilbert. But what were your impressions of the game?
Yeah, a little bit of a funky game, and honestly, I think if you know, how people don't take this the wrong way, but people are realistic too. If the Ravens are playing another team, like a team that's actually good, the Ravens would have lost that game for sure. Because Fernando, I don't know where you went to go look for the dog or whatever, but the Ravens were not good offensively, and like you mentioned, the Chargers could have made it a game much closer than whatever they had in that fourth quarter. Because when Herbert had the turnover, I saw people leaving, and then like 4 or 5 minutes later, they scored, and suddenly it's a 3 point game. But the point is, a different team probably would have beat these Ravens. Like it was the first game that Lamar Jackson did not have Mark Andrews. They're not even if they are healthy, they don't look like they're a pass heavy attack. They have a very good defense, or a great defense, I should say. Kyle Hamilton, your boy Fernando, he stood out. He balled out. He was great on Sunday Night
He's
Football.
really good.
But it was a weird game. I say because the Chargers defense actually played well, but I'm not really sold on the Ravens passing attack. They didn't have Mark Andrews, so if you're Brandon Staley, are you saying, you know what? See, improvements are right here. We're doing something better against one of the best teams in the NFL. I don't know if you should take kind of the credit for that, but I am concerned about the offense, Fernando. People had high expectations for Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore's offense has some highs, some lows, but it feels like more lows than highs. And again, people always want to see more from Justin Herbert, but you cannot have a fumble from Keenan Allen, a fumble from Austin Eckler. You have a very inexperienced, receiving core besides, Keenan Allen, like you mentioned, 5-8 steps back from the offensive line. So this offense is also struggling. And if you're the team ownership, Dean Spanos or John Spanos, you're looking at your franchise quarterback and saying, you cannot have a performance where you have 3 points in the first half. You cannot have a performance with 10 points overall. So you have Herbert, you have a lot of talent, but it makes you feel like, okay, what can you do? And the last thing I'll say, Fernando, it felt like one of these games where like you lost with some pride. It wasn't a lot of headlines, a lot not like a chaotic press conference or anything like that. But it feels like we're slowly fading into the season to end, and then eventually they'll make a decision with Brandon Staley. I don't see a in season firing occurring like Frank Wright or Josh McDaniels, but they're just trying to go to the season. It kind of feels like a slow fade for this team. Oh,
Sorry. Uh, Yeah, Morgan's right. He said, I think you mentioned it. Moore needs better play calling, situation awareness on how to counter the blitz, and I also feel like Herbert needs more audibles in his arsenal. I understand that. The thing is, that's going to come with time. I think the whole Herbert thing. I mean, I remember I know everybody's like, well, Philip Rivers did it. Yeah, but you guys are talking about Philip Rivers year 10, year 11. Like, really, when he got down to the nitty gritty, right now, he's still learning. He's
It
still
doesn't
going
help
into
when
that.
it's year one of Kellen Moore too. It's a new offense to him.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's the thing. He's still understanding. I mean, he practically, I mean, is right now on his what, third OC since he came in.
Yeah, well,
So,
yeah, Steichen, Lombardi, and then
yeah. So he's still learning. But the thing is, and I've said this before, and Morgan, I know, will point it out. Um, how am I trying to put this? It can't just be the Herbert and Keenan Allen show. I mean, and right now I'm gonna pull it up right now. Keenan is the last 3 games, 11 receptions, 175, 2 touchdowns, 10 receptions, 116, 1 touchdown, 14 catches for 106 yesterday. Keenan Allen and Herbert right now are obviously doing well. It's just the rest of the offense needs to pick it up, and I just feel like they haven't picked it up. And I just don't know if they can pick it up. Like, let's be honest. There is talent around this team, but it's not the talent that I think everybody thought that there was before the season. Like, you have the Keenan Allen, you have Justin Herbert, and then there's a gap.
top
Rashawn
heavy.
Slater. Yeah. And that's what we've been saying for years, though, that they're top heavy. You need that depth. That's why Tom Telesco needs a hit on third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. What? Oh, I cannot wait for Monday Night Raw tonight. Obviously, and then also you need to hit on undrafted guys. They haven't been able to hit on those guys, so that's where you get the depth. That's why the Rams are out here doing well. Gilbert, what have I been saying about that team? They're building their depth right now, and then they're gonna go get other guys. So yeah,
If they play each other right now, Fernando, the Rams and the Chargers, I will pick the Rams right now, and they have less talent.
Yeah, I completely
At least
agree.
top wise.
So yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is that, well, you finish up with that, but or with what
No,
you're.
it's a good point because I think somebody well, there you go, good point for me. Thank you, Morgan. But
CM Punk, CM Punk,
yeah,
CM Punk.
that's what you want to get to for Monday night. But don't forget about Vikings and Bears, okay, Fernando? It's
CM Punk.
But the point is, like, I was so bored yesterday that I'm ready to turn the page for the Chargers 2024. Like, who knows what's gonna happen with Brandon Staley and Tom Telesco? The point is, like, do you want to, like, you're getting to a point at 4-7 where, like, do you want to bother winning some of these games? I know you're not gonna try to, like, tank, but
Gilbert, but can they win? I don't see them
yeah,
winning
even if they
any.
try, like, Fernando, I'm gonna give you credit. You pointed to the schedule 2 weeks ago, maybe. We're like, hey, they might even win a game, and they're gonna play the Patriots on the road, which I think the Patriots could have a strong chance to win. You're gonna play the Broncos at home. I think the Broncos could beat them for sure, and then play the Raiders in Las Vegas. That's gonna be a tough one. So who knows what's gonna happen, Fernando? So what I'm trying to say is, like, when you look at the salary cap for next year, where you don't know what's gonna happen with the veteran core here, but it's a mess. And then, like you mentioned, they're kind of top heavy. They need more talent, but they can't go out and buy talent because their salary cap is a problem. So what do you need? You need more draft picks. So if they get in a position where they have like maybe a top 10 draft pick and everybody wants a quarterback this year, I can't name them all, but the guy from Michigan or the guy from
Yeah, Bo
know,
Nix.
LSU, Oregon,
Yeah,
Washington.
yeah,
There's like
yeah.
8 quarterbacks. You already have your quarterback. Trade that pick, get lower, and maybe get a late first round pick and a couple more second round picks, and you start building that way because you messed up the salary cap. And the weird thing, Fernando, Tom Telesco's baby has always been a salary cap. It's a mess now. What else do you need to prove, Tom Telesco, that you can't keep being the GM if you can't hit on your draft picks? If you
You went
can't,
all in.
he got Justin Herbert. I get that. He re-signed them, but I keep going to it. You might need a full clean house. But everybody, whenever I say that, it's like, whoa, look at the ownership. Does it even matter? I get it. Charger fans are frustrated, but I've gotten to that point where I'm thinking about 2024.
No, and I understand with you. I mean, the thing is here, I think by week 17 or week 18, even the Chiefs are going to have something to play for, the first seed.
Yeah, you're
So I
right.
feel like even they're going to play hard. I just don't see it. Like, I just don't see where. I mean, I see JC Jackson. I know he hasn't played all that much, but I see him making an impact this weekend. Bill Belichick is going to take Keenan Allen away from this game.
They've been so bad to score points though. But like if they get like 12 points, like the Jets game, like it could be something like
Yeah.
that, Fernando. But they don't have the Jets don't even have the Patriots don't even have the Jets defense. So maybe they could win that one. But like you mentioned, the Green Bay game, you picked them the Packers to win. It could happen again. I don't know. It's a
Yeah,
weird
no,
team.
I mean maybe one game, maybe the Patriots, but other than that, I just don't see like right now Denver's in the hunt. And I think Denver could push for a playoff spot. So, but I agree with you. And now the question is, what are you going to do with the top four guys? Keenan, Mike, Joey, Khalil. Khalil's earned whatever.
Yeah,
Like
he's been playing
Khalil's
great.
earned. He has 13 sacks. He's about a like he. I think 15 sacks is the most he's ever had in season. He could easily pass that. So what? Do you give him a 2-year extension and bring him back on a kind of a smaller deal? And then Keenan Allen obviously looks like he's earned himself a new contract, but then you have to talk about like what do you Mike? I mean, is that his last game?
I really like
Joey,
Mike Williams for his crunch time play. Like when fourth quarter, man, he just bails people out so many times. Like,
yeah,
but I know it's expensive too. I get it.
yeah.
Like
No, I agree with
if you
you.
look at Quentin Johnson, he hasn't really progressed. Like, can Josh Palmer stay healthy? Can he be a legit guy? Like, you might have to keep 3 out of 4. The one that I'm kind of
Yeah.
like leaning maybe not is it's tough to say, but it's Joey Bosa. He's kind of been struggling the last 2 years, but again, he's still when he's healthy and doing well, he's at his best. So it's gonna be a tough decision all around.
Well, I'm not gonna say anything.
You're gonna
But
make a list or no?
no, no, no. I honestly, I'm very interested to see what happens the rest of the way. But it's like you said, like I think right now they'd be what they probably pick around ninth, eighth, ninth. I mean,
Yeah.
you could either get like a stud corner. Um, I mean, and I don't know. I mean, you have so many needs. That tight end out of Georgia, I think that tight end Brock Bowers or whatever, him and Herbert, I feel like could really. I
I
think
I
I
just
started
worry
looking
about
on.
tight ends going that high though, Fernando.
I
Like, and
know, I know.
Hawkinson took a while to develop, but he hasn't done much. And then Kyle Pitts, I know he's dying over there with Arthur Smith, but it's tough. I don't know.
No, I know, and but it would just be interesting to see Herbert with a tight end. It'd be because I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
when Hunter Henry was there, he loved having Hunter Henry there. As yeah, I was going to say his freshman year, his rookie year. But I mean, not looking forward, just looking at right now. I mean, yeah, they showed some grit and everything last night, but you just can tell they're just not the same team that I guess last year. Like at the end of the season, they had that fight at the end and I just don't think. And I mean, it's funny. I talked to Kyle Van Noy after the game, and he's like, "That's a damn good team over there." I know personally that's a damn good team. He's like, "Ten's a hell of a quarterback," and obviously, if it's coming from a guy like Kyle, I mean, he played with arguably the greatest quarterback of all time. But it's just it's one of those things where what's going to happen moving forward, who knows? But I think it's going to be very hard with just Keenan contributing on offense. It's gonna be hard. But I was really surprised, Gilbert, this last draft. I know you got Thule. I know you got some other pieces, but look at some of these tight ends that are contributing today. I mean, what's his name? Sam Laporta,
Yeah,
Musgrave, like some of these tight ends, like Michael Mayer's even, I think he's
yeah.
getting misused in a sense over
Second
at
round pick.
yeah, I think he's getting misused over with the Raiders, but he's a good blocking tight end. That's what they're missing, blocking tight end. They're missing somebody that can contribute. And that's what I've always said. You don't have to get rid of Gerald Everett after this year. I know he's a free agent. You can bring him back and make him tight end too with another guy or maybe whatever you want to do. But like make sure you have a 1-2 combination at tight end similar to what and I mean, obviously, don't forget because I'm going to say this, but like similar to what the Patriots had with Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez. I mean, you. What have I said from the beginning, Gilbert, with Justin Herbert? Get him weapons.
Yeah.
Keep on getting him weapons. And I'm sure I saw some fans are like, I saw a hashtag on Sunday, tank for Marvin Harrison Jr.
Uh,
I was like, well,
if they go, what is it, 4-13? Now I don't think they'll get them because the Patriots and that Patriots game could be big for draft pick status, by the way. And then the Cardinals keep losing too,
yeah.
and the Panthers, which are the Bears.
Yeah. No, and all right, Athea, give me your bold predictions, but make sure you keep it clean, dude. Chill.
Yeah, and yeah.
Uh but well, he's with you, re-sign Mike, so definitely
And then also too, Frown, they're gonna need a running back because Austin Eckler's a free agent, and the rushing game has been
Jorge,
horrendous.
what's up, dude?
What's up,
What's up,
Jorge?
bro?
Uh, but I don't know. It's kind of sucks that we're already looking at 2024 with 6 games to go. You know, I'm trying to find something to talk about for the weeks coming ahead. You
Talk
know,
about Khalil Mack. I
yeah,
mean, at his age,
yeah,
literally, the thing about him and Keenan though is that Keenan's 31. I think Khalil's 32, and they're two of the best at their positions this year. So I'm
yeah.
just really
It just
impressed
be
with both of
it'll be
them.
tough to keep paying a guy that at that age too. Like I don't know. It's gonna be
No,
interesting
yeah.
too. But having Thule does help out. Where you're gonna okay, we can only just keep one out of the two, and we have a guy on the cheap too. But yeah, like you mentioned, you definitely got to protect you got to protect Herbert. You got to get a lot of weapons too, and you got to find a running game here. But it is kind of disappointing. Like Kellen Moore offense was supposed to be like, okay, you're gonna deliver it. I know injuries occurred, but this offense really took a couple steps back too.
Athir, you were talking about bold predictions, not fantasies.
What do you say?
He said the Chargers will trade their first,
Round one,
yeah,
round
a
three, and
1,
round
a
five.
3, and a 5 for second round, and
The,
Jefferson will sign
the,
3-year
yeah,
deal for less money to play with Herbert.
the second I got to Justin Jefferson, I started reading it. Like, yeah, sure.
They could have had him if the Vikings wouldn't have snuck up and grabbed him, but this is a tough one, dude. Jorge. I mean, obviously this is a hypothetical. I hate dealing in hypotheticals, but I don't know. I don't That's the thing. I don't know if they want the next like Sean McVay young coach, because that's kind of the way they went with Mike McCoy, and that's the way they kind of went with Brandon Staley. Or do they want somebody like a Dan Quinn, who is a defensive guy? He's been to a Super Bowl before with Atlanta.
Honestly, Fernando, Mike McDonald, the way he worked the Chargers last night, the defensive coordinator of the Ravens, like he could be a good option. Like you have so much
That's
talent on
another
defense.
first year.
Like it's another first year, and it's more like Staley resemblance, and people won't like that. But they have so much talent on defense. What if Mike McDonald was a guy to bring that together? Because that defense is balling out.
Yeah. Good thing Athir's
Season
not
guy.
a GM. We love Athir here, though. We love all you guys. You guys are
But I
our
also
homies.
do. I know more in the coaching, but I do understand people wanting a hard ass because this team always kind of falls apart in crunch time, and we have somebody who's disciplined. Maybe that could work out too. But I don't know how I feel about Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, there goes a comment.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's
Or Bill Belichick. I think
people.
I'd
I
rather
mean,
have Bill Belichick than Harbaugh. I don't know. It's kind of
would you really?
yeah, because he's been doing it
It's
in
the
the
same
NFL.
thing. They both read other people's signals.
Hey, you got to win somehow. I'm sure your brother's on board as long as they win. Who cares?
No, I know that. Oh, dude. I'm not even gonna tell. Like you, if you would have been in that car with Eric and Dan and everybody, like you would have gotten a kick out of some of that stuff. But I was telling Dan, I was like, one day we gotta like just put the phone up and like start recording like our conversations. Then he's like, yeah, right. And I started laughing. But yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, another
People
Harbaugh.
want Harbaugh. We should make a poll. Harbaugh, Bill
Harbaugh.
Belichick, Mike McDonald, Frank Smith. Who
Ooh.
else? We do not want Bill who will bring me.
That's
Yeah, that is a fear there. You
that
bring
is
in
actually a really good point.